So hello everyone joining us. I'm just going to start because we want to make precious use of this precious time together. I'm Sandra Oberoi and I am chair of the advocacy committee and also on the board, and I'm just delighted to see you all today. Like I said, some familiar faces, some unfamiliar that I hope to get to know, that we hope to get to know over the course of this, for me, afternoon, for you perhaps morning or evening, late evening. But we're just absolutely delighted that you've chosen to join us today for the first, literally, this is the first ISME Cafe, and the Musicians Health and Wellness SIG very kindly offered to host it. So as the advocacy team, we're very grateful for to them for doing this. Very quickly, this session, it's all about being informal, all about just talking, brainstorming on ideas together, and just really networking, getting to know each other. Who knows? We might come up with new collaborations, innovative ideas together, disrupt the possible thinking at this moment. I don't know. I mean, so many possibilities. And I'll just let both Carina, who is the chair of the Musicians Health and Wellness Special Interest Group, and Naomi, who is a commissioner, I will let them take over and share more about what they want or what they hope to accomplish through this session. But feel free to bring your tea, coffee, I don't know, any wine, anything, hot chocolate, and sit around and let's just have a chat and enjoy being with each other in I know it's virtual, but still this is the best we can get to, sitting at a cafe, and a virtual cafe, and having a good chat. So please enjoy this morning, afternoon, evening, late evening, and I hope you will have something wonderful come out of this. We're going to throw in a survey right at the end. I'll see if I can put it in somewhere in between as well. So you can help us by giving us some feedback about the session and tell us what you feel, what went well, what didn't go well. It's anonymous, so please don't worry. I mean, be as open and honest with us. So over to you, Carina Joly, the chair, and Naomi Underwood. Over to you both.
Actually, Naomi is going to start, right, Naomi? So
why don't you say a bit about what the SIG is, Carina, first?
oh, should I do that first? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. All right. So, well, I just replicate the words from Sandra that we are so happy to have everybody here. Thank you for joining, for dedicating some of your Saturday time for being here with us. We are really delighted. We are hoping that we're going to have some nice, relaxed, but also informative exchange here. Our special interest group, Musicians Health and Wellness from ISME, we are from the last 9 years trying to get these people together that are working with, dedicating their time and their research or their expertise, some of the therapists, for example, into making the lives of musicians better, healthier. We know that musicians do suffer from playing related problems, also psychological problems, because the career is extremely demanding and difficult, emotionally, psychologically, and physically. And if you look into studies, we see really it's an epidemiological situation that we do have to consider, and we want to bring this into pedagogy, into teaching, so then we can actually help to decrease this amount of people that end up getting into a high level of performance and then start struggling, or even before that. It really depends on the person and on their physical and emotional configuration. But we know that at a certain point, it is very possible that musicians will have situations like this. We are also looking into the health of music teachers, for example, especially now that we do face a pandemic and we do face a situation that has been adverse to everyone. And we know how this has brought such a huge impact in our activity as artists, as performers, And so we know that this is also a current situation that we want to share and to know what is going on here. So this is also part of what we're going to be handling this year's, in coming years, post-pandemic years. Hopefully soon we'll be talking about post-pandemic. But so this is really what we are focusing: the well-being, the health, the mental and the physical health of the performers. Yeah. And in that direction, we are talking about teaching also, because teaching is quite an important tool to prevent those situations, meaning music teachers can have information and be able to apply these strategies into their teaching. The more they get informed about how and what are the possibilities, which are many, and there's not one fit to all. People are different, so we are here open to a variety of options. So this is what we're trying to do, to put together in an interdisciplinary matter, so everybody will share this kind of information and be able to start applying, or to share how they have been already applying with their expertise. Okay, so now I will throw the words to Naomi. So she's going to tell us about today, the plan today.
Hi everyone. So this is a really exciting opportunity for us to host the first one of these cafe events. It does mean that we have a bit of flexibility in what we do, and what I've kind of put out as a structure is something that enables us to have those really valuable smaller group conversations, but that also allows me and Carina and the rest of the health and wellness group, especially the special interest group committee, to be a bit nosy and find out what you talk about in your groups, because we would love to be a fly on the wall in all of those groups. So I have put together a Google Doc. I hope most of you are familiar with Google Docs. If you arrived slightly late, then the link is there. And the idea is that in a couple of minutes, we're going to pop you in some breakout rooms. I'm going to go for 4 in a room, I think. That gives an opportunity for people to have those conversations, but also if they're not as confident speaking, to maybe listen a bit more if they want to. And the idea is that we've given you some questions to think about, but also, you know, you can go your own way and let us know whatever you're interested in as well. So the questions, please introduce yourselves. Right, I've given you just a little introduction for myself as a kind of example. We're interested in your perceptions of the state of musicians' health and wellness in your country. And I have to say, one of the things I love about ISME is getting to meet people from all over the world. When I attended for the first time the conference in Brazil, which is where I met Carina, I was the only person from the UK in that particular SIG at that time, and it was just such a wonderful opportunity to hear about what was going on everywhere else. So we'd like to hear what's going on, or your perceptions of what's going on in your country, your thoughts about the health and wellness of the music teachers in particular in your country or internationally. And also, during the last 2 years, what have been your experiences of being involved in music education or promoting the health and wellness of musicians? And obviously, the last 2 years does include the COVID-19 pandemic, but I have specifically not put that in the wording of the question because I would love to hear about something other than that as well. So don't feel constrained to have to talk about the effects of the pandemic, even though it is exceptionally likely that that will have influenced you to a great deal. Does that sound okay to everyone?
I think it's important in the groups that you designate someone to maybe, or someone's to take notes, or to be ready to report to us when you guys come back.
There probably won't be enough time for everyone to report, so I think the first suggestion of getting someone to write, and then I will be watching that Google Doc while you are all having
in the Google Doc. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So when everyone comes back after about 20 minutes, we'll be able to have a bit of a kind of summary of what we've seen. And then after that, Carina's going to tell us about the exciting things that have been accepted for the World Conference. And we'll be able to say ways to keep in touch. Great. If anyone has any issues with accessing that Google Doc, you can just let us know, and we will do our best to help you. So let's just get them going. So it'll be between 3 and 4 people in each room, and you should be able to enter them now. Lovely, everyone. Welcome back. So thank you. Christine's just owned up to there being nothing from their group written because they were too busy chatting, which is excellent. That's exactly what we were hoping for. So don't worry too much if this document isn't an accurate record of your conversation. If you were having too much fun, then that has already met the objectives of what we wanted you to get out of this. So is there anything anyone wants to, we've got a couple of minutes before we're going to ask Carina to have a kind of introduce us to the World Conference stuff, but does anyone have a burning need to say anything from their group or to share anything that hasn't been written?
I have a question. Would we be able to get a copy of this video? We kind of chat with everyone, many things, many new things that I wasn't able to record it, or at least some sort of survey or something that we know what we were talking about and everything. Would we be able to?
You can have the main room, but the breakout rooms don't record. So what happened in your breakout room is done.
I was taking notes, Alexandria. I was taking notes. I took as much as I could, but definitely get in touch with the people that were in our group. It would be nice to know about the other group too.
Maybe the emails, if I have some questions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We do have just to say, if anyone's really wanted to keep in touch with the members in their group, which would be excellent, right at the bottom of this Google document is a table that allows you to share your email address if you would like to. That's obviously entirely up to you with GDPR.
I'm sorry, you're talking about you. I'm sorry, you're
There's
talking about
a
the chat room?
Is
There's
this
a document.
are you talking about the chat feature? Is that what you're talking about?
So this document here, if you click on, that's the one where people were typing in stuff from their group chats right down the bottom. And I've seen some of you found it. There's a chance to add your email address, which would be great, because then if you were in a group with someone and you want to get in touch with them, then you can do that. So that's a way to keep in touch. But I think given how much time we have left, Carina, do you want to say stuff about the upcoming World Conference?
Yes, I want to. I will actually share that document that we're all typing in because I think it would be nice so you already have a view also from what I'm going to say, because sometimes we hear all people speaking. So here is where everybody were typing, and there are still people typing. I still have to write about my country. I didn't have the chance because we were hearing everybody else. But down here is that list where you can put your email address. Okay. Here you see people are typing. It's a collective document, so everybody can go there and write. As if you click, if you're not familiar with this, click in that link that Naomi just shared, and this document should open in your browser. And there you go to the very bottom, you're gonna see this table, and you can put your contact, or you will have access. If you keep this link, you will have access to this document. Okay, it is for everyone. Up here in this document, you're gonna see what I'm really happy to share is about the presentations that have been approved to our conference 2022 that should be hosted in Brisbane, but now then became virtual, so it's going to be virtual. So whoever is an ISME member will be able to participate in this conference and see all these presentations. We put here together, we're very happy this year. We got 53 submissions of papers. And when you have a paper, that a document that is shared by everyone, when people type, it moves. So it just jumped. So we got 53 applications, and we got 37 approved abstracts. We had our commission selecting them and reading everything. So we did have experts in musicians' health evaluating all the papers. And we got 10 oral presentations approved. We got 9 workshops. So we're very happy about that. We got 7 roundtable presentations, and 1 poster presentation and 2 symposia. So we're going to have like these 2 groups that are going to be talking about groups of people. They're going to be talking about 2 different topics. The 2 symposia, one is going to be about yoga. I just put the countries of most of the presenters are going to be in. I try to put everybody in. My apologies if I forgot some country, but I was trying to follow what the information I had in the submission system, okay? So if something missing, some country is missing, we can always fix this. So one is going to be some experts in yoga are going to be talking about this and how that impacts musicians' activities. The other one is going to be what works in health education for musicians in higher education. And this is a group of a variety of countries: Australia, UK, USA, Cyprus, South Africa. Okay, so it should be quite interesting. I'm going backwards since I have down here. The one poster presentation is about emotional vulnerability in the performance practices of professional musicians. The 7 roundtable presentations also have really nice, interesting topics. We do have intervention with post-secondary instrumental students in Australia. Oh, thank you for, I don't know, someone is actually making it big. Oh, maybe you're going to change something there. Maybe there's something missing. We have... I like the collectivity of these papers because people can add and share. Intervention, health promotion in post-secondary music education instruction. So you have 2 people from Canada and 1 person from Australia presenting on that. We have music education stress in the COVID-19 pandemic from the US. We have mental health and music education measures revisited in USA. We have a virtual biofeedback mirror for musculopostural activities while playing from Cyprus. We're going to have another presentation on mental health practices for high anxiety in the USA, from the USA. We have cross-natural collaborative teaching during the COVID-19 2021 pandemic. So from Australia. Here in the 9 workshops, we're going to have one on joint hypermobility and proprioception. So this is quite interesting. I actually was doing a study on that, and we know that people who have joint hypermobility are reported to have lower proprioception. So this workshop might be quite interesting once you get students who have very flexible joints. Musicians' health evaluation and injury prevention in classroom pedagogy. So it's also very interesting workshop, so we can learn how to implement that in your institution. Body mapping South Africa, the importance of making music for emotional health. So body mapping is also there. Overcoming the brain's negativity bias. So some strategies to deal with something that musicians actually suffer a lot, brain negativity. So hard is our working, our job is difficult. So we always have the tendency to be too negative. Empowering musicians with training strategies for long-term health and resilience from the US. Practical motivational methods for classical instrumentalists. All teachers need to know to ensure the well-being of their students, yoga and breath work in the advanced musicians. So we have a quite a diverse group of topics there for the workshops. Then the oral presentations, we're going to have a discussion on either face-to-face, online, or blended. What is the evolution of musicians' health and wellness module in response to COVID-19 from the UK? We have the effect of choral mindfulness training on professional orchestra musicians' music performance anxiety from the US. Vocal health awareness and health-seeking behaviors comparing choral to solo classical singers from Australia. We have another one on university music ensemble participation and psychological well-being from the US, mindfulness-based intervention on flow state and self-compassion from the USA, expectancies and music performance anxiety in collaborative performance from Australia. We have this new questionnaire that is going to be validated, that they are working on validating this new questionnaire on the musician's health literacy from Canada. The presenter is from Canada, but I'm aware that it's an international group doing that. What teachers say about performance training, perfectionism, and performance anxiety from Canada. And we have another one on interdisciplinary recommendations for musicians' well-being education from Australia. So we do have many interesting topics. We are looking forward to these. And we hope that you are going to be interested in joining us in this wonderful section in Brisbane/online. I guess we need to go into the ending. We're so happy to have everyone here today. This is going to be recorded and is going to be posted on YouTube, ISME's channel sometime next week.
Carina,
we have Sandra who is going to talk a little bit to finish this presentation. So I just wanted to thank everyone for being here and sharing your experiences, and I give the words to Sandra.
Thanks, Carina. I just wanted to thank you all again for being here, but also to say I've just posted in the chat a document which will, well, it's a survey which you can then fill out. This will really help us shape the future such sessions, right? It'll really help us know what worked today for you, what didn't work, what we might change, what could be different. I'm going to bring just a word or two from our group. It appears that we have interest in children's health and wellness as well. So that was quite interesting. I'm not sure, I missed, was that talked about, Naomi, in the when everybody came back?
But we didn't get a chance to have a chat through everyone's responses, but I'm hoping that they'll be able to look at the Google Doc.
Fabulous. And so if you actually fill out the survey as well, that'll help us. And we look forward to staying in touch with all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. This first session has run for about an hour, but the general platform will be open for about 2 hours. That's the plan. So I'm going to keep the session open for just a little longer. If anybody wants to talk about anything, just a couple more minutes, because I know Naomi is wrapping this up with, I mean, do you have anything else to add, Naomi?
Not for mine, just to say that please do keep in touch. There's various ways. I've put the presentations from the online seminar it says 2022, it's actually 2020. There's the Facebook page. Please do click through and ask to join that, and obviously joining ISME, so you can join us at the World Conference and then talking to each other. I think one of the things we hoped you'd get out of today is to make some international connections. So again, just using, if you haven't done so already, keep a contact of this, keep record of this link to access this Google Doc, or if you lose it, just email me or Carina and we'll send it to you.
Okay.
I just want to say that our Facebook group is really there to share events that are free, that are related to scholarly research. So we are avoiding like personal and kind of advertisement of a treatment, especially because we don't have a way to recommend each one and evaluate and say, you know, it's so many things that can work for people, but we are there to share information that have been published or that are scholarly, or events that are going to be available to everyone. So feel free to use this platform to share what is going on in your community, in your country, and your institution. Okay.
I just had a quick question about the survey. It's like the link that we have for the survey, on my end at least, lets me edit the survey but not respond to the survey. Is anybody
Oh,
else having
really?
that problem?
Yes, that's right, Samantha.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Okay, let me just see if I can. Otherwise, I'll mail it to you. Thank you for bringing that to my
Thank you for being.
notice.
I think Sylvia was going to say something.
Yeah, I would thank you so much, Carina, and also Naomi, for this
Yes.
preparation for this
Thank you.
meeting. It's very important. It's a path forward in our SIG group. And especially Carina, she did a big, big work all this year for this group. And also Sandra, who supported us from the board. It was very important. And I think you understood very well how important is this group. And thank you all for your devotion and a lot of time. You did all this work for this group. Thank you very much.
I have to say, if you don't know Sylvia Schwarzenbach from Switzerland, she is the reason why this SIG exists. Together with Gail Bernson and Gray and Bartle, those people, and Judy Turnell, they are the people that they are our advisors forever. And we are so happy that they are here and they fought for ISME having this group happening. It's to Sylvia that we own all this and bringing this as a big part of ISME now. So Sylvia, thank you.
Yeah.
We just do it
Thank
with
you,
our
but
heart.
it's very important to have younger people and new generation who makes this forward, who believes in it. We started, but without you, it wouldn't be, we wouldn't get and have this SIG Musicians' Health and Wellbeing.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you
it's
so much.
all of us.
All of us.
Yes.
Teamwork.
Teamwork, but you planted the seeds, so.
Just may I say something? Just would like to join Sylvia Schwarzenbach and share her thanks with you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Carina. Thank you, Naomi. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, everyone. It was very interesting, very necessary, and very uplifting in our difficult time. Although it's not in person, virtually, but still we're here hanging. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So I guess, Sandra, are we still giving more time?
Yeah, if anyone wants to.
Yeah, so if anyone else wants to say something.
Technically it runs for 2 hours, but
Yes, go ahead.
You'll keep this Facebook contact going, is that right?
The Facebook group is there for as long as we can be here taking care of it. Yeah. So you're welcome to join.
And also, Tom, we will have multiple ISME Café sessions that you can access. I know you're not a member, you said. So the cafes are all open. I mean, anyone can join. You don't have to be a member.
Yeah.
So the next one is, I think it's the commission now of soon to be commission of the instrumental and vocal musicians. So that's one. So we have different committees, commissions, and SIGs at ISME, and all of them will have an opportunity to host one of these cafes. The first one obviously it's very targeted because of the group that they come in, whether it's early childhood or technology. I know Lee is here, or he's just left. Natasha is from early childhood music. So we have different people who will host this, and based on anyone's interest, or if you're interested to join, you're welcome to. So we're glad you came.
Yes,
well, look,
definitely.
My interests are quite different. Like I'm not a music teacher, I'm a psychologist.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And my mental health link is more with regard to our sort of community participative mental health. We have a lot of initiatives here in Australia where they set up a recording studio, and then they change their name so that it's no longer regarded as a clinical service, but it gives the music. So the guys don't call themselves youth workers; they call themselves project officers. That way, the youth come along, and they're not getting a mental health label. And if people like me get involved, I'm a psychologist. As soon as somebody sees me and takes $1 from the government to see me, they've automatically got a psychiatric label for life. So I'm trying to get away from all that. So my interest in the mental health music angle is different from, the musician mental health. It's more about the general public and mental health and music. But ironically, trying to get away from the mental health angle, because that's the trap, is as soon as people take $1 from the mental health trough, they have a psychiatric label for life, and they often get psychiatric drugs. Or even where we're from, they get ECT as well. So they start on their psychiatric career very early in life, and some of them never get off that treadmill. So that's why I was interested in this group, because you're talking about mental health, well-being, and music, but my angle is different.
I see. But
if
feel
you're
free
interested
always
in having
to
me
join.
involved, I'm happy to keep, in touch.
Sure, sure. Join us in Facebook if you are not yet.
I will, no, that's how I found out about it.
Oh, great. And I was going to say, Sandra, Cafe should advertise in all Facebook groups related to ISME. So,
well,
people, all these meetings.
Step at a time.
I tried to advertise in all groups I am a member related to ISME, so other groups also would know about it. And I think that's why we got a big number of registrations.
Yeah, Natasha put it onto EAS as well. I also shared it on the advocacy. I mean, we some of us did our bit. We shared it. Thanks, Natasha. What we can, I mean, the link to this particular session will be available online, so that's good. And people can continue staying in touch. The document was good, I think. Folks, just feel free to talk. I mean, that's what it's all about. It's informal. If there's anything you want to add to the conversation, or any learnings, any takeaway, whatever it is, just the floor is open.
I have a question. I'm sorry. Maybe I missed something. You mentioned something, the next cafe meeting will be regarding vocal issues.
Vocal and instrumental. So it's not issues per se. I mean, I have to leave it to Yanis to run it the way he wants to, but it's the commission. Well, right now they're a forum for vocal and instrumental teachers. So they will be handling the second one. So like
are they going to send automatically to the email? Because I found out about this cafe through email rather than through the Facebook.
Correct.
So
if you're
an
ISME member, yes. If you're an ISME member, you will get this information via email. But because it's open and it's not just for members, we're putting it on all platforms. So you can further, all of you are welcome to invite anyone you think who will benefit from this kind of an engagement and these kind of conversations. I think it's so important to keep this going and the life of this going. So it's really nice that ISME is opening up and welcoming other voices, and that's the whole idea of this cafe. So the next one will be the vocal and instrumental commission / forum, and then we possibly have the membership team of ISME or technology, I don't know, or Natasha, you're here, so if you want to take over the next one for early childhood, that's fine. So the thing is that every group or commission or SIG from ISME every other month will be handling a cafe, and anyone is welcome to come.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, look, I'd love to run some things or give talks on the mental health aspect. The problem I have is that most of the research we do is critical, which means it's all negative. Like, for example, if you look up mental health and music, you get a negative correlation. It's not because music is negatively correlated, it's because the music industry is negatively correlated. So if you get people with aspirations that aren't met, it becomes very stressful. And then when you add a pandemic on, and then you add a European war on, everything becomes mega stressful, and it has really nothing to do with the music itself. And the other problem you have is that the so-called help, when people say, oh, if you have a problem, get help. Do you know that if you take $1 from medical benefits, you have a psychiatric label for life? So many people don't know this. I had to tell patients this. I say, if you've been bullied at work or you're having trouble with your gig or whatever it is, You come and see me. As soon as you take that first dollar, your child has a mental illness label. Because if they have a road accident in 40 years' time, that will come up, because I've been an expert witness so many times where they've dredged it up and said, oh, you have a family history of mental illness. And you think, what? I had no, what's this all about? Oh, you had a Medicare medical benefits prescription for a drug 30 years ago. That gives you a family. That's the kind of thing that I'm on about as a psychologist. Why do you think I'm teaching ukulele instead? Because it's all negative. It's all nasty.
Where are you based, Tom?
I make no friends at all among my colleagues, psychiatrists and psychologists. That's why I'm doing the music now.
Where are you based, Tom?
Adelaide, Australia.
Australia, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm just saying, if you ever want to have a talk on these subjects and see the actual data, no problem at all. I've got an ocean of it.
Great.
Tom? Sorry, Tom, I don't know if you're hearing me. I can't get my camera on. It's Valerie Peters.
I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of, in our sector, I'm doing this research right now in well-being, social emotional competencies, emotional regulation, and music. So there's lots of data. It's very positive, actually. So maybe we should chat.
No,
And I'm working with
there's positive relationships between music. But what I'm saying is, when you actually do a big survey, sometimes it comes out negative, and it has more to do with the music industry and very little to do with the music itself.
Well, the meta-analysis we just did has a large impact of music on emotion regulation, so it's really positive. And Andrea Creech, who is one of the researchers in our field, has done this for quite a long time on flourishing in older people. So I think the data looks really good from our perspective, so maybe we should chat.
Fine, yeah, but send me an email by all means. I mean, I've only looked at this roughly because it's a sort of peripheral area from the general mental health literature.
Yeah, I think you have to go outside, and we're going through, interdisciplinary, and I think that's the way we need to go about this, because it certainly is in a pandemic currently. It's probably our best drug currently, and very accessible.
Do you want to say something?
Sorry, Sandra?
Renee wants to say something.
Renee.
Do you mean Bridget?
Oh, Bridget.
Oh,
Bridget.
Oh, pardon me, Bridget. My bad.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Call me. Maybe my name in my next life will be Renee.
Oh, you sweet thing.
So I just wanted to say, in response to some of the comments that have been going, that the mental well-being of performing artists and musicians is a very, 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 very wide field, and I would hesitate to make kind of particular generalizations without really checking very, very broadly the field. There are so many wonderful scholars who've done fantastic work on pros and cons, to put it simply, and such incredible work has been done in the UK, for example, just off the top of my head, Rosie Perkins, Sarah Senzo, and so on, about how meaningful music is to music students. But then at the same time, Ginsburg, Willimon, myself, Christy here, and people, we've also done work on how tough things can be for music students and the impact.
Diane Kinney also.
Diana Kenny, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So a number of us, including Christy who's here, we've looked at this area in depth, and there are psychologists and psychiatrists who looked at this area, and there's so many lovely nuances, layers, levels. It's a big onion. It's a big onion with a lot of layers and levels. So I would say, if someone's interested in that, to really explore all of that and look at all the differences that are actually within that. It's an interesting field, but I wouldn't sort of say, oh, it's all negative, or it's all positive, or it's all this, or it's all that. I would look at it carefully in different populations, different contexts, different aspects of meaning making, well-being, performance psychology. It's huge. And then the other thing I wanted to say was that I just wanted to ask a question, Carina and Sandra, maybe you can help me. I've been with ISME for quite a long time. And one thing that still always confuses me, and it's to this moment, it still confuses me, is when we submit our abstracts for the biennial conference, and we submit them under the checkbox, musicians' health and well-being, it's always very confusing to me whether I should submit for the main conference, musicians' health and well-being checkbox, or whether I should whether it would be a preferable type of audience or type of presentation or topic that I'm doing that would suit more the pre-conference on musicians' health and well-being. In other words, this group. And so it's really hard to kind of figure that out. And so what I did this year was I just put all my stuff straight into the main conference. But now I'm kind of thinking, well, maybe I should have put like one there and one in this pre-con, because it was in previous years also, it's been a bit of a maze for me to understand how best to those swings and roundabouts. Do you know what I mean? To put a metaphor for it, you know, where would be best to, and because I'm on the committee of the commission, and we obviously work with you guys in our commission, this special interest group, I think it's an issue that maybe we could discuss, because if I'm a little confused and I should know what's going on, then I guess there may be other people confused too.
Yeah, we also got some applications that were topics that were very interesting, but they were not really related to our mission. And this year we had a good group of people that were experts, so we could redirect the papers that were not part of, I'm talking about the main conference. I have not been involved with the selection of the pre-conference, but I think that as far as my understanding, the pre-conference, we are involved with the forum. And if it really depends on your wish, because sometimes with the forum, forum of instrumental and vocal teaching, we are doing our pre-conference together with them. So we are collaborating, and it all depends on what are your plans in taking part fully of the main conference or not. Because I don't think there is like one or another. You can just choose where you want to send your paper. If you want to be more part of the pre-conference because you want to go to that country and go somewhere else during the main conference, or if you want to be in the main conference and be part of the section. Of course, the sections in the conference have more participants than as far as what I have experienced. But definitely it shouldn't send the same paper to both. Yeah, that's the thing. So it's really for myself, I always chose to make this year I had not have time to send a proposal, but I always chose to make two different things for the two events, because I thought that in both ways we could reach people that maybe were not in the main conference but were in the pre-conference, and vice versa. And what is very important when submitting is not only going to a panel. We know that the panels are broad, they have a broad description. We end up sometimes getting people from music therapy applying to panel 13, for example, even though there is a panel more directed to music therapy. So there is this confusion, but it's very important that also a specific SIG that you would like your presentation to be connected, you should mention that. As well as we did get many papers that were not for the musician's health and wellness SIG, but were directed to spirituality or assessment. So it is very important that when you submit, you really mark where exactly you would like to be connected to in terms of in which section of which commission or SIG. But that's, I don't know if I clarified, but it is kind of confusing. I understand that, because you have to choose one or another, right?
Good night, everybody. Sorry it's very late in Australia.
Good night.
Oh, good night, Tom. Thank you for being here.
Okay. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know if I responded or if someone else wants to add to what I said.
I can just, if I could just add, I'm a noob. I'm a second year PhD fellow, and I just, what do you say? I became a member and I tried to understand this conference thing, and I was so confused because I understood like if I send it to the pre-conference, I will get to the pre-conference. If I send it to the main, I will hopefully get to the main. But I didn't understand what I should do. Like, what would the pros be of going to the pre-conference? What would the benefits be of going to the main conference? As a noob, should I set my bars low? Where is the easiest for me to get in? Where is the best? It's like, what does it entail, kind of? the different choices.
Yeah, what happens is that some commissions are meeting in that same country, but in another town, in another city. And that is more, it happens not during the main conference. So you can do both things, you know. This is usually what happens. In the last this last conference that should have been in Helsinki, and then this one in Brisbane is not going to be like this, but usually the commissions happen in that same month, but in another place. So people end up going there in a more concentrated group of people that are part of that commission. But regarding the musicians' health and wellness, we usually do it together with the Forum for instrumental music, instrumental teaching, instrumental and vocal teaching. So, and this so far has always been happening in that weekend before the main conference in the same place of the conference. So that's a bit confusing if you are looking into the musician's health and wellness, because you have two events at the same place at the same week. And I have seen people that have said, okay, I'm going to be in the pre-conference, but I'm not going to be in the main conference because I want to go somewhere else in that country. I want to visit and do some tourism. And so that's basically the reason why.
General question. I never done pre-conferences, but for the future, if let's say if I participate in pre-conference, my abstract or the full paper depends also being published in proceedings or not?
Yeah, I have not seen proceedings for in the last conferences. I have not seen abstracts of pre-conferences being published.
Okay.
Yeah, they were not in the previous. Sylvia, please.
There are some that do publish. It's the research, correct me, Sylvia, but it's the research one. I think they publish the full papers, don't they, Sylvia? The research.
You're right.
I guess
it depends the commission, and that's something to discuss for the future.
Yeah,
yes,
definitely.
Really good we're recording this conversation, because ISME will have a look at all of this.
Yes.
This doesn't directly relate to what we did today, but then this is exactly why we're meeting, to have these great conversations.
I'm sorry I brought up this question, but I thought it's quite important just to catch us, because
and now
I'm on the committee of the Commission for Vocal and Instrumental, and so I realized if I am slightly confused, then and I'm supposed to know what's going on, then I realized, well, there are going to be other people confused too. So then I'm thinking, all right, then we can perhaps in years where the pre-conference and the main conference are both online together, like now, or they are in the same venue, like was going to happen in Brisbane, then we can just explain maybe something like she's gone. Oh, Vera, you are there. Like Vera has suggested, just to explain a little bit about this.
Better. Yeah, it's important.
You asked an important question.
I think would be a good idea. We can keep it simple, but maybe
I do remember that if you want a full paper to be presented, you need to hand it in at a certain date.
Yes.
So if you want it to be full, you do have a date to submit it.
If may I ask another, it's not a question, it's just if I understood correctly, since I haven't done pre-conferences, I've done only conferences. Sometimes I publish papers, sometimes in abstracts, but the full conferences, the main conferences. If I understood correctly, the main reason of pre-conferences, I think there was like two issues. It's for the people sort of use that as a preparatory instrument. And on the other hand, it's just opportunity to do earlier something and then not to attend the main conference, just do something else for another conference or so. Is that kind of makes sense, or if it is, there's another purpose there?
No, I actually don't know. This is what I was saying, how people deal with it, but I have to find that out too myself.
Okay. So I think it's easier to Sandra, I think it's easier for people for all of us or participants or applicants when it's in different places. Like when it was going to be in Helsinki that year, the some of the commission pre-conferences were far from Helsinki, and it was a nice regional smaller group where you could go and bond with your tribe at that smaller group. You know, that was the vibe, was to bond with your tribe, the smaller group, and have that bonding small group experience, almost like a breakaway group on a Zoom call.
Yeah, the connections have happened.
And so then it does make sense in that way. But perhaps what we can do is just define some of those objectives so that potential applicants would then understand the slightly different objectives, whether it's on the same site, on the same town, same place, same city, or whether it's in different cities and involves travel, just so that people can make their choice clearly informed.
True. We'll take a question from Vera, and then Valerie, and then Sylvia.
Yeah, thank you, Bridget, for explaining that, because as I then understand you, you were kind of responding to what I was going to ask now. So the kind of the point of the pre-conference is to find your people and connect with your people, your tribe, as you said. Then the point of presenting at the larger conference would be to like really spread your word or your message to a wider audience, so to say. Would that be
makes sense?
Yeah.
And also you meet the tribe before, so when you are in the conference, you know already the people that are from your group, you know.
Good idea. I think that would be wonderful to have on the web page. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Valerie?
Yeah, I was just going to say I'm in Miss Tech and we meet before, but the idea is to be with people who are doing the same research interests. So really in an intimate setting, it's a really different thing to be in a pre-conference. At least it was before we went to Prague, where there were 150 people at the pre-conference. So normally a pre-conference is small, it's about 40 people. And so if you're doing, you know, if in your case you're doing music and wellness, I'm in music in schools and teacher education, you meet with all the people that are doing that research very, you know, very specifically in your area. So that's where you make those connections for life of all these people that you get to meet all over the world, which we haven't done for 4 years, which has been very difficult not to see our special colleagues. Smaro was just here just a little while ago. So it's a really powerful thing to see what's going in research, you know, across the world, basically, and to do that in an intimate setting, which is very informal, I would say, which that's one of the differences. And so you're not lost in the sea of, you know, hundreds and hundreds of people, for one. And the second thing is when you submit a full paper, I've done it several times, it has to be submitted in October, the full paper. It has to be all ready for publication. So usually these papers are about 3,000 words. They're submitted in October, there's a deadline. And then if they're accepted, you present at the conference, at this small intimate conference, and then you have the paper published with ISME through those different, like Miss Tech will publish. So these different small groups will publish. So I don't know if that helps. And I just wanted to say, what I wanted to say before was I wasn't talking about musicians when I was talking about health. I'm talking about general populations. I'm not talking about music people, not talking about professional musicians or music students, I'm talking about music in everyday life, talking about general at-risk clinical populations. Okay, I just want to make that clear, that when I'm talking about well-being, that's what I'm talking about in emotion regulation. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Valerie, it was good to see you today.
I'm really sorry. My wife, I'm at my parents' house. It's like 6 in the morning here and I'm having trouble. Their Wi-Fi isn't working. So I can't even turn on my camera properly. So I'm really sorry. I'm on my phone. And so I'm having all kinds of issues with Zoom. So I'm really sorry about that, but nothing's working here. Good to see you, Sandra, and everybody.
To have you
I'm sorry
here.
I'm late. It started just really early. I'm in the mid zones of Canada.
It was a bit of a, I mean, we struggled with finding a time that's convenient to all.
No worries. No worries.
But
It's
then
I have to make an effort this time.
No, but I'm glad you said this, and I forgot to mention this, that next time, hopefully Yanis and the following commissions or committees or SIGs will host 2 separate meetings like this, which will then cater to different time zones. That was the hope, that you know, people can come when it's more or less convenient to them. This is
I know it's so difficult for you, so I don't. It's not
this was not possible for us this time because we had Naomi and we had too much and we couldn't set 2 meetings this time. But we know that Café will be doing that.
Yes.
Sylvia, you wanted to say something.
I think you have to understand and to know about the history of ISME. to understand the whole, because the commission, there existed at the time only commissions, and the commissions were longer together, not only 2 days, but 4 or 5. And they had this commission meetings in another, even in another country, but normally in the country of the conference, but in another city. And when the forum started, the idea of the forum in Bologna at the conference, just we put together also musicians' health. It started at the same time. We were a group still from the beginning, and we had no seminars, but we were working to have one. And so we got 2 days, and we said to go away for 2 days in another city or even in another country makes no sense. So we will stay at the same place where the ISME conference takes part. And so it started, but as the future, I hope so, the forum becomes a commission. Then we will have the same situation as the commissions had. And so it will change. We have to discuss about.
Mm-hmm.
And so we can also resolve the problem, perhaps.
Yeah.
Will I present on the main conference or in a pre-conference seminar? Because that's the part where the specialists came together.
Mm-hmm.
It's very different from, that's the origin. And things are growing and changing. And I think that's a topic to discuss in future.
Yeah. And for the ones who are not aware, the forum is becoming a commission. So it was a SIG until the last conference, and now it is becoming a commission. So that's why we still don't know yet if it's going to be like this always.
Sandra will tell you.
She's also part of the process. Do you know the answer already, Sandra?
Well, I'm just gonna say I think it's long needed, this change. And the point is that, you know, with a forum, with the new change, like Ian has explained to us, there was no place for a forum. We had to be a commission or we had to be a SIG, right? Something. It had to sit somewhere to continue with the benefits of what it was receiving. So the forum operated like a commission, but was not a commission. So I think in that way, you will receive the forum or / commission now will receive all the benefits of a commission. No changes. So that's really good. And there was one point that was raised during our talks in this process of, you know, why is the musicians' health and wellness SIG so closely attached? And I explained, I mean, we brought this up that, well, it's pretty much the same people who founded it. There's Sylvia, there's Graham, there's Gail, who are part, you know, the advisors now, who are part of both, which is why, and you know, there's such a close link, and that's the reason why, well, it makes more sense working that way. So yeah, everything will function normally. So no worries there.
Yeah, and musicians' health is a very important part in music education. Instrumental and vocal. It belongs together, in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes. Anyway, it was good to see everyone. I think we've exhausted what we wanted to talk about, hopefully. What did you say, Carina?
Someone asked what is the difference between a SIG and a forum and commission. So just to mention that the forum was a SIG, just had the name of forum, but it was treated as a SIG, which is
but the thing is, it was operating like a commission, right? And that's where in the new bylaws, it didn't have a space, right? It was not, it was neither here, neither there. So we had to situate it somewhere, and it made more sense for it to come on as a commission and not just...
Yes,
okay, because in the beginning, we wanted to become a commission.
Okay.
And ISME president didn't want to do it. That was the story. The beginning, the talk to become a commission. It's a long story, but I'm glad if we become a commission finally. That's the most important thing.
Yes, yes, and we have to take a vote on that in
General
July, I
Assembly.
believe. Yeah, but it's pretty much. I mean, it's all
And
set.
and as far as I understand, the SIGs are more temporary, and they can start and
Yes,
they can stop as far as they have good action, good activity,
correct,
lots of people interested. They stay longer. They can
correct.
eventually become a commission
Yes,
later on. That's the
you're right.
difference.
You're right. Yes,
And
because
someone was asking.
we have the popular music, like the jazz, right? The jazz SIG, jazz musician SIG is no longer there because obviously ISME found that there was not as much interest or activity in that particular area. But then we have the popular music, we have the technology SIG, so many different SIGs, spirituality. Is that a SIG or a commission? So many things.
No, I think it's a SIG.
Yeah. So, in that sense, the forum was sitting at a really important space, doing a lot. There was so much happening, but because we weren't situated per se with the change of the bylaws, we had to have this change. It had to sit somewhere to receive the financial benefits, everything. I mean, all benefits, right? So I'm glad this has happened. Yeah. So,
Too.
did you want to say something, Sylvia?
No,
No,
me,
she's just
me too. I'm happy that's happened.
I know. Well, thanks to you. Thank you all. It's a few of
Thank
us
you.
left over, but it's
Yeah,
what a joy to
yeah.
have had you all. Christine, I don't think we've actually met, but great to see you. See you
Great to
all.
see you, Christy.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
See you, Vera. See you, Alexandria. See you, Sylvia.
Yes, thank you for
Nice to
being
see
all
everyone.
here. Yes,
Thank you
Quick
so
question,
much for
Karina.
everyone for your work. Thank you.
we are looking forward for your presentations coming up in the
Yes.
conference. All of you, some of you here are going to be presented, as I read all
Thank
the
you.
abstracts. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward.
Karina, I have
Sorry.
a quick
Thank you so
question.
Yes, go, Chris.
Did you catch where Valerie was from? Like she said she was in
Valerie
Canada,
Peters.
Canada.
right. But which university? I've just looked her up. I can't find her. The only thing I can think of is Laval.
She doesn't have any abstract. I didn't see her. She's not
Okay.
presenting. Do
Okay.
you know Sandra where she is? Sandra might know.
I'm not sure which university, but she's a member of the advocacy committee. So I can check and pass that over to you. Let me see if that pops up.
That would be great, Sandra. Thank you.
If you
'Cause I
look
looked
at
her up and
members, yeah.
it could be a couple of different people. I'm thinking, but I wondered, it seems like it might be the person who's at University of Laval. But if so, her English is excellent. That happens. Us Anglos sometimes do teach in French. I do, but
I know she went to Northwestern in
Okay.
her schooling because I went there too. I'm just trying to see. Oh, it says Lavelle.
yeah, Laval. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
See you.
Thanks. Okay,
Take
bye.
care.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you so
Bye,
much.
everyone. Thank you
Thank
for
you,
being
Karina.
with us. Thank you.
I wrote
Bye-bye.
you some questions to Sandra and to you. Talk to you soon.
Where?
Oh, I will write some if I have some
We
questions
will.
on
We will.
email.
Yes, do. All right.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you. Bye. Great, Karina. I'll say bye
Great,
to you
Sandra.
as well.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.